Hey, this is MassX with a brand new Bleach Soul Reaper video, and this is going to be a tier list for the beginning of the game with the characters available. Take it with a grain of salt. We're only a week in. There's only so much testing you can do with so many characters. But this is going to be kind of the lead off to kind of give some direction here. And we're going to start off with the top with the S tier, the highest tier. And in my opinion, at least today in this stage of the game, there's only 3 characters that really hold that spot. One is controversial, the other 2 I don't believe are at all. And the first one, of course, is Unohana. To me, this is heads and tails, the best character currently available in the game. Why? AoE heal, purification of debuffs. I could just keep going on and on. Her Kaido, she just does so much for your team. It is crazy. The stronger I make her, the better my team gets. Clearly, without a doubt, top tier character. Number 2 is probably no surprise to some people, is Yamamoto. He, with that AoE burn, he is incredibly strong at 6 stars versus 7 stars. He is stronger than most, if not all, SSR pluses. And you would expect that with this character. Crazy strong, crazy powerful, and AoE right now is kind of dominating good portion of the game, as well as, of course, effects, and he's got burn. Third spot, which a lot of people may disagree with, I give to Mayuri. And at this point in time in the game, I think he is incredible. Easy to build. You can get his pieces easier than the other 2. He revives upon death. The poison goes such a long way. He does a lot and keeps your backline safe because you have to keep killing him and killing him and killing him. Just a phenomenal character. Next up is Toshiro. I have a love-hate relationship with Toshiro. My favorite character, well, I should say one of my top 3 favorite characters out of Bleach. So I had to build him. Incredibly good, especially when he does his 1,000-year ice prison. It's amazing. But he is a bit of a glass cannon. He, when you build him up spec-wise, is lower than a lot of the SSR pluses. You really have to give a lot into him. So great character, a little bit more investment than others. So with that, I don't think he falls in that top tier. He drops down to A. And that brings us to Byakuya. An easier character build, but not the easiest to build. He does a really, really good job because he's got the AoE. Does really good damage. He's got the disarming for 1 turn. He can reduce speed. He offers a lot. He has a good toolkit. Not a top tier, but he's just shy. He's right under it. Very good character. Now we're going to talk about some of our single hitters because they really are some of the easier characters to build and are no slouches of their own. And first up, I'm going to talk about Gin. This character is an offensive juggernaut. I mean, he is just crazy. His ultimate does so much damage. It's just insane. He can just boom, there goes a column. I mean, it's just nuts. This character is easier to build. He can inflict his targets with poison. Just does a lot for starting to tear apart your opponent's team. So with that, he's definitely, to me, an A tier character. Literally, they go hand in hand. Soifon is also just a solid character. Her ultimate, dealing almost 300% attack damage, plus an additional based on how you have her built. And it also has that one random target beside it. Always crit strikes on marked enemies. It just does so much. Consumes all poison debuffs on the targets, dealing additional damage to them. I mean, just her combo with Mayuri and Gin, those three together work so well that, yeah, she's just a phenomenal character. I put her at A. Now, probably our best tank, at least in my opinion, you may disagree with me, for now at least, in the game, and I mean like a pure tank, and that's Ichigo's father, of course. He does a lot of heavy lifting on that front line. His Moonfang Heaven Piercer is a good ultimate, not phenomenal, but a good ultimate. But his counter strike barrier is what really is nice. Him having that ability really does a lot, and the fact that he can do that counter attack when his block is triggered is really important for being on that front line and being a tank. So it makes your opponent sometimes pay for hitting him. And our only SR up here so far, and that's Rukia. A really, really, really solid character. Her first dance, Moonlight, is a really solid ultimate. She does a good job on the field. She builds higher than most of the SSRs I've built. So she's got really good stats and can do a lot of legwork for your team, both offensively, and she can hold herself sometimes if you have to put her on that front line. So definitely a character that is not bad to invest in. Falling down to the B tier, we've got Ichigo Kurosaki. Now this character to me is a major glass cannon. That's his problem. He can do offense, that's not the issue, but the reason why he's in B is because he has a hard time staying alive, and to me that drops him down to B. Now we've got some other interesting ones I do want to bring up that are in the B tier, which I think deserve to be talked about. And first off would be Hitami. I think this character has an amazing toolkit. Really, really good toolkit. Her Pale Lightning, does 340% attack to one enemy targeted file at random at the cost of all Ryuku, stunning the target for X turns, and that stun is based off all the Ryuku used for her divided by 30, really, so you could get multiple turns of stun on a character. Really interesting and can be used wisely. It's kind of tough. You really have to pay attention when you're playing her, and hopefully she's coming in with a lower speed. And the reason why I say that is because what you're hoping for is you want to use the characters that you want first, and then if you've got the resources, then you finish off with her, setting yourself up for the next round. But a very interesting character, and a character I think that is worth considering, especially if you have holes in your team. She can do a really good job there. Now, probably the next best tank, in my opinion, and it was tough. I almost wanted to put him in A, but that's Sajin. Really good, does better offense, but I just think as a pure tank, I can't give it to him. His Tengen, does great damage, 255% attack, and it's just increases the defense of team members. He's got a solid toolkit. The Devoted Captain, each attack grants one stack of loyalty marks, stacking up to 4 times. Each attack against you consumes a stack, reducing damage dealt. He's got a great toolkit, but I don't know. There's something about him that I feel like he just doesn't hold as well. And that's how I treat him, kind of as more of a tank. So with that's why he's sitting there. But definitely, if that's your best option, then don't hesitate going for him, because he is a solid character. And kind of going in line with that, we got to go with his compadre before all the shit hit the fan, so to speak, and that's Tosin. Tosin is a very interesting character, and I think sometimes I'm wondering if I just haven't placed him in the right team yet, because I do think his ultimate, to back row enemy targets is awesome. I mean, I love that mechanic. I love that he reduces the target's attack, defense, crit damage, and crit resist. That's really cool, and I really like that a lot. And he's got that chance to stun, which is just really cool. And he also does some other stuff in his toolkit that is interesting. With that curse he can do and reducing their attack by 40%. I just haven't found the right team to maximize him on yet, so that's why he's in the B tier. But to me, he might move up, especially Marinon, if there's better characters to go along with him. That will really be key. Now, let's talk about Yuichiro. I think Yuichiro is a really, really good SSR. Very good. Her ultimate summons a mark under a teammate's feet, increases all team members' speed. That's what I like about it. Yeah, man, that speed increase is so killer. And I just think it can go a long way, especially if your team is speed deprived and you kind of just have to fill one more slot. I think that's just a really nice mechanic. And right now in this game, speed helps a lot. Jushiro is the last one I want to really talk about, at least in reference to the characters that I wanted to talk about that most people have the ability to play or can build at this point in time, and that's Jushiro. Jushiro I've been messing around with lately, and I do like this character, but I just can't seem to also get him over the hump when it comes to especially PvE. His ultimate directly damages targets for 70% of the damage absorbed by his Sogyo no Kotora, and that's what makes him good. But the problem is you're gonna have to frontline him. You want that damage storing, and I just feel like his stats isn't gonna keep him alive long enough unless you go crazy building him, and that's why he's on the B tier. Now, everybody else kind of falls into the C tier. To me, these to me are the most valuable characters right now to build, but we've got to discuss the characters that most people, it's going to take a while to get to and build up. And that's why I separated them and put them at the bottom, because I think we've got some time before these characters are really going to be super playable. So we can first talk about Urahara. His skill set, he can deal 110% attack plus whatever you scale to damage to an enemy target, granting the team members with the lowest HP immunity to skill damage during this turn. His ultimate deals damage, it's like 260% of attack. Of course, all this scales, of course. Applies one of the following buffs at random to all team members for 2 turns. There's a bonus attack, bonus defense, bonus crit, bonus block. I don't like random, so that is going to discount him with me unless he's just an absolutely crazy, phenomenal character. His exclusive increases crit damage of 1 back row team member at random 2 and purifies 1 team member at random. I don't feel this character because of the random nature of it. So I know I'm going to have issues, and not a character I'm going to be striving for, because when I set up my teams, I don't want to take chances. And I feel like with him, you're going to be taking chances. And the next character I want to talk about, which I've played against in higher level areas of this game, and he's just absolutely stupid. So I have no doubt he's probably going to turn out to be pretty freaking cool and amazing. But that's, of course, Kenpachi. He's going to be an offensive juggernaut. We know that, okay? And his ultimate deals, 370% attack plus a scaling amount to an enemy target, able to act one more time after death. So if he kills somebody, he gets another turn. If he kills that next character, he gets another turn. That is crazy. Yeah, you're gonna just want him to be like crit and attack and break, boom, 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 and you're gonna be praying he goes to the races. Absolutely, just an awesome character. His exclusive deals 30% more damage to targets below 50% HP, and when below 30% HP, increases his attack power by 30%. Basically, he's guaranteeing a kill to play right into his ultimate. It's just sick, absolutely sick. I have a feeling this character will live to the hype. Next up, we've got Yoruichi. Yoruichi is one that I really thought was going to be absolutely amazing. And maybe she is, and it's just going to take time to build her and be able to truly test her. Her ultimate, her Shunko, deals 370% attack, so it's no slouch to an enemy target. It has a 50% chance to silence a target for 2 turns, and that's the part I like, the silence. That is great. If it's as effective and can really go off 50% of the time, that's just going to be crazy good. And her exclusive, her crit hits always leech, healing for 30.2% of the damage done. Also great. So she's going to be a character that can take care of herself. Gotta love that. I think this character will end up being a top tier character like Kenpachi once, they can be built more and tested more. So I have no doubt about that one. The next up is our favorite bad guy of Bleach. Well, I guess some people might not think he's a bad guy, and that is Aizen. And no doubt he is just stupid, okay? I'm dying to build this character up. His ultimate deals 150% attack, plus the scaling damage to all enemy targets, so it's AoE, has a 30% chance to make the target sleep for 1 turn. Love that, okay? Even though it's 1 turn, just trust me here. We'll go with this. And he applies Kyoka Sugetsu to sleeping targets. Attacks that interrupt sleep deal 60% increased damage. And this particular attack, though, does not interrupt sleep. And you're saying, what were you talking about? I didn't hear really anything else in there. Well, under his exclusive, the complete hypnosis, Aizen deals, and it appears this scales, 20.1% increased damage to sleeping targets. Yeah. So I think, he's going to AoE, he's going to, you're hoping he's going to put 1/3 of your opponent's team to sleep so they're not hitting you. Then he's going to come back around and start just annihilating them next turn. Absolutely love that. I think he's just, everything that I read about him, he's just going to be a stellar character. And, sadly, I got him, but he's 3 stars, so he's not effective yet. But I'm very excited to use him at this point in time. And one that kind of bums me out, I'm just not feeling him, and that's Shunsui. Shunsui, I just don't see. I kind of like Urahara. I think those are going to be the 2 slackers of the harder to get SSR pluses right now. His ultimate, he burrows into the ground if he hasn't seen it. It's actually kind of cool. As a shadow to attack the target from behind, deals 370% attack damage to a back row enemy, which I really do like, okay? But it's random. If the target is an attack or support character, this attack heals the attacker for 30% of the damage done. So yeah, I don't like gambling and with what the characters can do, and randomness and things described like in these toolkits just worry me. His exclusive, taking damage, increases his defense by 3.05%, but that's got to be scaling for 2 turns, stacking up to 4 times, which is nice, but nothing spectacular. So yeah, I'm just, out of those bottom ones, to me, it's going to be Kenpachi and Aizen. I found this image cruising around the web from prior version of this game, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm not sure which side is PvE and which side is PvP. If I was guessing, PvP is to the right. But so I don't think I'm that far off, but who knows. In the end, though, this is what my personal thoughts are, and I just didn't have the time to get into a lot of the other characters. But going through their toolkits, knowing how high they build up stat-wise because they're SRs and rares already puts them a step behind. So really, SRs, or I should say SSRs, are really that initial step. And outside of the few that I put in here, I'm pretty comfortable with this. I mean, yeah, Hitomi is a rare, but her toolkit's so crazy. And hopefully, it's cheaper to build a rare, so you can stack her to the hill. I just think her toolkit is too good and offers too much. If you have a hole in your team, that might be the character that'll work best for you. But that's really the only rare I felt comfortable with putting up there. But her toolkit, just read it. Go open up the game and read it. It's pretty incredible. So let me know your thoughts. Hey, take this with a grain of salt. It's too early in the game to really go crazy and make something efficient, but at least I hope this is a bit of a guide for people. And again, like I tell everybody, because I hate tier lists, play the characters you want to play, have fun. That's the most important thing. And if you want to be competitive, well, here's what I think are what we're looking at currently with what's available. But there's no doubt in my mind, Unohana is just crazy good. She's in her class on her own. Like, I could have put her one up, and to me, and that would have been actually probably the proper way to set this up. No diss to Yamamoto, but Unohana is, to me, and right now, my absolute favorite character. She just is crazy great. And support usually has legs. Always remember that. DPS characters will always get power crept. So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.